Hi, and welcome to our podcast, Learning Leading Now, where we talk all things education with Mobile County Public Schools. I'm your host, Sally Erickson, and I'm joined by my colleague.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kimberly Dunn, and we have a very special guest here with us today. Will you introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Brad Lowell. I'm the athletic director for Mobile County Public Schools, also academic supervisor of physical education, health, driver's ed. Also have Ladd and Miracle Field under my belt.
A man who wears many hats.
Anything we can put in that bowl for you, we'll just throw it in there.
There you go.
Well, I thought it'd be good to start out with just talking about why athletics are important, but the other thing it'd be fun to talk about a little bit is sports in our own lives. So, Kimberly, you want to tell us about your experiences with athletics?
Absolutely. So in high school, I actually tried out and made the volleyball team. And so that was really fun and exciting. I always loved and enjoyed being active all the way through my elementary years. That's so important. So to be given the opportunity to play that sport, it ended up conflicting because I was also a twirler with the marching band. And so the schedules, when we were having practices, there were volleyball games. So I wasn't able to do both, and I stuck with the one I had the most training in. But it was still keeping me active, and it was a really important part of helping me become who I am today, because it taught me discipline. It helped me to maintain my academics and my grades, because with any extracurricular, if you don't maintain those grades, then you're not allowed to do those extracurricular activities. So it was really important to developing the overall student of who I was in that time. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. You go, Brad.
My turn. I played baseball ever since I think I started walking. And as I got into middle school, I started playing football also. As I got into high school, I'm a graduate of Theodore High School. I played both football and baseball. I love football, loved baseball, but was better at baseball. Had an opportunity to sign with the University of Alabama, so played some college baseball also.
Well, my only real role with high school athletics was reporting on it, because I was the yearbook editor. I never really was interested in contact sports because I'm just kind of a wimp that way. But that brings us to flag football, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I do think it's interesting just to emphasize that athletics is just such an important part of the high school culture, and also in Mobile County Public Schools, the middle school culture. It's great to get our kids up and moving and learning teamwork and discipline and all of those great things that come with athletics, which makes it such an important part of education. So,
yes. And as you mentioned earlier, athletics also is providing now opportunities for scholarships to further that education, and that goes greatly with talking about the flag football too.
Well, we teach, and I think this is what is important to know, it's educational-based athletics, because there is a part of participation that you have grade requirements, and you have standards that you have to meet in regards to academic standards, some accountability standards, and that kind of creates a holistic person.
Absolutely.
in development, also doing something that they love to do.
Well, that motivation is, I've got to keep my grades up if I'm going to stay on the team. That also instills some good classroom habits with time management and all of those skills that come with it.
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about flag football. It's become hugely popular, and that's a nationwide thing. It's actually going to be in the Olympics in 2028, which just amazed me. Yeah. So let's talk about how it's become such a big, popular thing for our girls in high school.
And how successful it has become as well.
It really has. It is one of those growing sports, kind of like soccer, women's soccer, but women's flag football has taken off, and especially in our state. And we were excited to bring it in to Mobile County schools about 3 or 4 years ago. And we had a couple schools jump on board immediately. Still wasn't everyone, of course. But over the last few years, we have added, most of our high schools are now fielding a flag football team. And now most of our middle schools are fielding a flag football team. And what that tells me is we have more kids, especially female athletes, that are participating in sports. One of the, I think the most important aspects of the girls flag team was there wasn't a whole lot of sports in the fall that females could
Yes.
play. They had volleyball, you had cross country, you have swimming, but there was some limitations there on what you could choose. And adding flag football gave a different avenue for more of our female athletes to compete in.
Absolutely.
So it's been great.
Yeah.
Well, I heard from a couple of coaches, flag football coaches, who said that the first year they had maybe 10, 12 girls try out. And then the following year they had 60, which just
Amazing.
amazes me. And we've had a couple win championships or make it to the state playoffs. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, this year was a great year for us. Of course, Alma Bryant has been there. They've kind of took the lead early on in the girls football flag program in the county, and they do a good job there of getting the girls out and getting interest in the program. And they've competed in the playoffs, and I think they ended up making it to the third round this year, and maybe lost by 1 to Smith Station
Heartbreaking.
Tuesday night.
Wow.
And so, but they had a really great year. We also had Mary Montgomery was in the playoffs this year. Theodore was in the playoffs this year. LaFleur made the playoffs this year, actually got to host a first-round playoff game and won. And then, of course, BC Rain was in the playoff too. So we had quite a
Several,
few
yes.
of our schools actually make it to the AHSA playoffs this year in flag. And then, of
That's
course, our
amazing.
middle school girls competing in it too. So it's growing.
Yeah.
There's some excitement there. I think participation numbers are going up every year. So it's been great so far.
Well, that's all exciting to hear. And the other thing I thought would be fun to talk about, given this time of year that we're recording this, is tackle football, because our
Yeah.
teams did really well this year too.
Our boys football.
Yeah, we again, very similar to girls flag. Half of our high schools ended up making the playoffs this
Yeah.
year, and that was huge for us to see so many schools that were able to make the playoffs. And then, of course, we still have some schools playing today, but we had a lot of our schools that made it in the first round was able to win and go to the second round. So not only did they make the playoffs, but they won in the first round.
Yeah.
We still have Viger and Williamson that is about to play in the third round this week.
Oh, that's exciting.
And so they're not playing each other, but they could next
They
week
could
if they
the
both
next
win.
week, yes.
So that's exciting. And so it's been a really good year in the fall so far.
In fall sports, absolutely.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's talk a little bit about sports coming down the pike, and some of the things our parents and coaches can expect with the next few sports, basketball, volleyball, the next season's coming up.
Yeah, we always have a little overlap there with the fall and winter sports.
Yeah.
And so we're obviously finishing up fall sports with football, and we still have a few teams left, but basketball season has started.
Yeah.
So the winter sports itself, you have wrestling, you have bowling, you have indoor track, and so you have a different group of athletes that are starting their seasons now as we finish up the fall. And it never stops.
No.
It just we roll into one season to another, but it's good. And
Yeah.
we look at it this way, and I tell people all the time, regardless if it's a sport, just getting kids involved in something at the school,
Yeah.
I think is really important.
Absolutely.
And I think it's it really makes it important to them to give them something to do.
It gives them an
as a
outlet, really.
extracurricular piece. It gives them a reason to come to school
Yeah.
to be part of something other than just going to the classrooms every day. And so I tell them, get involved in something, whether it's the arts, whether it's sports, whether it's a club, just anything to be involved. I think it's very beneficial for students.
Find your tribe.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, and we have some unusual sports that maybe some of our listeners are not aware of. Can you talk about some of the more off the beaten path sports that we offer?
We have the sanctioned sports that the HSA offers, but we have some non-sanctioned sports that for example, we have fishing.
That's the first one that came to my mind. I was
yeah.
like, MGM is all about that fishing team.
We have fishing teams, and some of them do really well.
They do, yeah.
And so they get sponsors, and they have the boats, and I mean, it's just like you would watch on TV, these bass fishing tournaments, and they do it, and they do a good job with the schools that have them. And then we have archery.
Yes.
You know, archery's another
Archery
very
has
popular.
seen a lot of popularity as well. We've made it to some national competitions also with that.
We have. And we have elementary schools that compete in archery and are really good.
Yeah.
And of course, that filters into the middle schools and high schools. But I would think fishing and archery, you know, those are probably two that a lot of people don't know about, that we have a lot of participation in, along with the regular sports that you know about every day.
Yes.
Well, and a couple years ago, Mr. Threadgill made a change with our requirements with stunt cheerleading.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, back in the late 80s, Mobile County Public Schools stopped allowing our squads to stunt. And
Because of a safety concern.
it
right?
was, and it stayed that way for 30-something
Yeah.
years. And,
Long time.
You know,
We weren't allowed to stunt when I was in school. Mm-hmm.
Just for clarity, maybe, Kimberly, can you give us an idea of what stunt kind of means for those of us who aren't that familiar
yes.
with cheerleading?
So, especially in the competitive realm of cheerleading, when you traditionally think of a cheerleader on the sidelines at a football or sporting event, you might just see them saying a cheer, like "Let's go Vikings," whatever it might be. But when it comes to stunting, that's when they're actually lifting the girls up. So, could be on their shoulders, they could be holding them up with their hands, or even throwing them in the air. That's where that more competitive element comes in. And so, it was really, and I think Brad was about to get into this, when we stopped doing stunting, it put our cheerleaders at a disadvantage when it came to that next level for them. Being in competitions, going to the collegiate and even professional levels, they were expecting them to be able to stunt and have that experience stunting. And because we did not offer that with our cheer squads, it kind of put them at a little bit of a disadvantage.
yeah, I think Mr. Threadgill, he's very strategic and figuring out ways to give our students more opportunities. And he went out on a limb to say, you know what, we can help our current cheerleaders by giving them more opportunities by reinstating stunting in Mobile County schools. And we were very thankful to have a superintendent to step out to do that, along with the school board who passed and allowed us to start that back. And it's been great. I mean, it's allowed many of our schools to grow, to compete at a higher level.
Yeah.
And we have even our middle schools, a lot of our middle school squads are stunning now, which is going to help the high school squads as they learn in middle schools. And so, again, that's one of those sports and that, especially when Mr. Threadgill came out and allowed those changes to help really grow and facilitate more opportunities for our athletes.
Well, and I've met a couple.
I was about to say female athletes, but we have male cheerleaders
We
too.
do.
We do.
We do.
And they actually, I mean, they get good opportunities and scholarships doing that.
Well, they would be very effective with the stunting, right?
Yes.
So I've met a couple of the cheerleading coaches, and they are some intense folks.
Yes.
They want to win.
Yes. And when you really think about it, the amount of time and practice that they put into it for a 3-minute competition, it's all or nothing.
Yeah.
It's really, when you really look at it that way, I mean, it's difficult because
extremely.
you're putting these routines together. Everybody has to be perfect, and you only got a one
shot.
One shot, so yeah.
That's interesting. Well, so I'm glad to hear that has been well received. I'm sure you've gotten some good feedback from parents and coaches about the change.
Oh, definitely. It was very exciting when that change took place, and the coaches were excited, the kids were excited,
was well
and the parents.
received,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Well, and that also opens up opportunities for scholarships too, right? Because
It
you can
absolutely
get a
does.
scholarship to cheer in college,
Yes,
right?
because a lot of the girls that wanted to cheer in college, because they couldn't stunt at the local schools, they had to go to a gym somewhere else and
And get that stunning
join
experience.
a competition
Yes.
squad to
Yeah.
get experience. So they had to go somewhere to get that experience.
Yeah.
And now they can learn at the school.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
And you
that's-
briefly talked about middle school a little bit. So talking about those middle school sports, we did some broadcasting this year of our middle school football championships and just how much success we've seen with those programs as well. So can you talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, the last few years, I know we've been able to go out and we've been able to broadcast the football championships, the basketball, and I know we do
Volleyball as well.
volleyball as well.
And all of those are available on our YouTube channel,
They are.
And I'm gonna tell you
MCPSS
what,
TV.
and the kids and the coaches love it. It's
Yeah.
at that level. I mean, just to know,
Those are
I get
some
to
of
play-
our highest viewing programs that we have because those parents and grandma and grandpa and cousins
Everybody.
everywhere, they all log
They
on
wanna
to
see
watch.
my child on TV.
Exactly.
But it's been really good. It's been really good, and the feedback from it's great. And like you said, the viewership's there, and our kids love being on TV.
Oh,
They
yeah.
they love it. And I'm very thankful that we have a group that likes to do it and appreciate that because it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Putting those events on and broadcasting those events, and there's a lot of long nights.
Yeah.
So I understand, and it's very appreciative and thankful for everyone that helps put it on because ultimately, I mean, the kids, it's just a great experience
It
for they
really
can
is.
always go back and watch the game and
Yeah.
see it, and
That's exciting for them for sure.
it is, and to be there. So it's been really good.
Well, and another neat thing is just in the last few years, adding the football stadiums at every high school, except Murphy. That has just been really funny to me because I live near Ladd Stadium, so I can hear when a game is going on. And so there was this one Friday night during football season, and I can't remember which teams were playing, but Murphy had played the night before. So this is a Friday night. Murphy had played Thursday night, and I heard the game. And I'm walking around the neighborhood, and I can hear this huge game going on at Ladd Stadium. And I thought, no, wait, who's playing? They all have their own stadiums, including Williamson.
Yeah.
So it ended up, I believe it was Viger Williamson, and it had
Yeah.
been moved to Ladd because of the popularity of the game. So
Exactly.
it's great that as a school system, we have that flexibility to move to a bigger venue when we know that the crowds are going to be there.
And that's one of the great things about sports in general, but especially football. We know that the communities come out and they're going to support their players, especially when it's those closer rivalries, because these are kids that have grown up in the same communities, just ended up going to different high schools. So they're friends, oftentimes cousins and family members, and they end up coming and playing against each other. And so it's really great that we're able to have a neutral playing
Yeah.
place for them.
And
Yeah.
one of the, and I probably need to say this just because, one of the concepts and the ideas to bring in on-campus stadiums wasn't just for football teams.
Yeah, no.
It was important to provide, there's two things that generate income for schools, and that's a gym and a football field.
Yep.
And so the equity and the business decision to put fields at all of our schools,
Yeah.
we
It
had six
outweighed,
six that had them. We had six that didn't, and there was a big discrepancy on the amount of revenue that was generated between those schools that
I
had and
bet,
had
yeah.
not. So it was the business decision aspect to put those fields there and to help the schools
Yeah.
generate income, because you kind of self-survive when
Yeah.
it comes to athletics.
Absolutely.
And each local school has to create budgets and fund their programs.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the big decisions to do that. But of course, they look great.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Well, Davidson has a really pretty stadium right there by the side of, what's the name of the road? the road that goes up
I know
to
that's Michael Boulevard.
Michael,
Okay.
yes.
Yes.
It's so pretty. And they had a big band showcase a
Yeah.
few weeks ago that was apparently very popular. And so that was a nice revenue stream for
Yes,
them. And
so
that wasn't
they're
even
able-
football.
Yes, like as Brad mentioned, they're able to use these fields for more than just football.
That's
Which
right.
is
for
great.
events. I know that Mary G. Montgomery uses their field during the 4th of July, and they do that
Oh,
big
yeah.
4th of July celebration where the field's used.
Well,
They
we'll
have a
have soccer
stage.
playing out there in the spring.
Exactly. So many wonderful opportunities. And that's the great thing about LAD as well. The home team is able to receive that commission from the game to help fund their athletic program as well.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's talk about our latest athletic field, the Miracle Field in
Yeah.
West Mobile. Brad's in charge of that too.
Yeah.
Tell us
Beautiful.
about it.
Take off your athletic director hat,
yeah,
put your Miracle Field hat on.
Oh, and I know you all have seen it, but it's such
Yeah.
a beautiful park.
It was an amazing thing that was able to happen and that Mobile County Public Schools was able to be a part of.
Yeah, and when you go out there doing when the Miracle, it's Miracle Field, but when the Miracle League is actually out
Yes,
there playing, then you know why you did it. you
Exactly.
know?
Yes.
And it's really those kids that participate in the Miracle League and the coaches and the volunteers and the donors, and it took a lot of people to really put this together,
Yeah.
and so it made it worth it for sure.
Yeah.
And again, I know it's going to grow and probably become more over the years.
Yeah.
But it's having those league games out there and watching those kids play, and the kids, they love it. They absolutely love
There's
it.
not only a field there, though. There's also a playground, a park
Yeah.
for
Yes.
those children as well.
There's a, they have the concession stand building, and then of course we open the park up part, not the baseball field, but the playground area for the community to come out if they want to enjoy the park itself, the playground. And we have it open in the afternoon during the weekdays, and then most of the day during the weekends.
Yeah.
And it's just something that's really, really nice. It's a beautiful park if you haven't seen it. But yeah, it's been again another positive.
Yeah.
Well, and we're continually accepting donations and sponsorships for the park. Isn't that right?
Yes,
And how can people do that?
I would imagine it's on our website. Is that
yeah.
correct?
Well, it should be, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, any involvement, anybody that would like to be part of it, donate toward it, they can see it on our website.
And if they're not able to find it on the website, I'm sure they could reach out to you. And
Yeah, I think my office number's on there.
I'm
so-
pretty
Yes.
sure it is.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Perfect. And one of the things, the reason they're still needing sponsors, they're trying to grow this park,
Yes.
trying to build more. And so, what are some of those visions and goals that they have for the Miracle Field?
I don't really want to speak out of turn because I'm not 100% sure. I know
It's ever evolving.
Right.
It is.
Well, they've got
And-
plans for other athletic fields, right?
there was a vision to add a full-size baseball, softball field out there at some point.
Yeah.
I think even possibly a school somewhere
Yeah.
out there. And again, I don't want to speak
And
out
this
of turn
is like
because I don't
future.
Way down
right,
the
right.
Yeah.
But I guess bottom line is yes, there's some
There's
some growth opportunities
Yes, absolutely.
at Miracle Field, and what that's going to look like, I'm not 100% sure.
But it's still exciting. It's neat
And
to
we
have
know
these
that
visions
there's a
for the future.
need for this population of students and parents and families. And so we're trying to fill that need and provide them with all of the same opportunities that we have for our other students and families.
Definitely.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the safety protocols that are in place for our student athletes. I do think it's interesting that one of the theories as to why flag football is so popular is because it's a non-contact sport, which tells me that a lot of parents probably would rather their children not be in a contact sport because they're worried about them getting hurt. Can you tell us a little bit about all of the different it's not just
Precautions that we
equipment,
take,
but it's
yeah.
also just kind of general procedures in place to make sure that kids don't get hurt.
I think the misconception is I can walk right outside of this door and twist my ankle.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a chance of anything
Yeah.
that you do
Yeah.
of possibility of injury.
Yeah.
It's some sports less likely than others, sure, but I've seen bad injuries in girls flag, just like regular football. But I mean, the going back to the safety, and the coaches try to teach proper fundamentals and
Yeah.
techniques to try
Absolutely.
to prevent injuries.
Proper
And
training.
then proper training when you come to off-season training, in-season training. We have trainers that have therapy for kids that get injuries. We have doctors. So I mean, we have kind of the gamut of everything from treatment to preventable, I guess training to try to minimize sports injuries. And so I
And
think
then
it
we
just,
do have those resources if those injuries end up happening, So we have
Correct.
our, like we had a tent with nurses in it at the football games if there were injuries that were taking place or happening. And so
Definitely.
there's the strength and conditioning that takes place leading up to, and there's the proper training that goes on throughout. But then there's also, we have those resources if that injury does end up happening, we want to make sure that it's cared for properly and that we are giving them everything that they need to have the proper healing.
Definitely. And everything's just timing,
Yeah.
because injuries are going to happen.
Yeah.
If you're playing a sport,
Even if you're not, like you said, you could
I-
walk out the door and
show me somebody that goes 4 years playing a sport that doesn't get injured in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
And so it's I know nobody wants their baby to get hurt,
yeah.
but
We as the school system are doing all that we can to ensure that
of course,
doesn't
and that
happen.
goes on to just
Yeah.
trying to minimize injuries for our student athletes, but also Mr. Gatewood and his security team. They create an environment,
Of safety.
a safe environment for our
Athletes and their
athletes
families.
and spectators and with the administration. So we try to create a safe environment in general.
I think we do. I think
know.
we've
We
succeeded
absolutely
with that.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're out there many times, especially during the football season, with those athletes. And I always feel safe and secure. I never have a doubt or a question about my safety. And then I know that if there is an injury on the field, they are immediately taken care of and cared for.
Definitely.
So
And every school has an emergency action plan for every venue that they play in for each sport. And so they're very well prepared on catastrophic injuries or injuries that require immediate attention, whether, something bad happens. It could be anything from weather to, really anything. And so that's what these plans are there for. And they're, ready to act and know exactly what to do when it happens.
Well, that's very reassuring.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, that is about all the time we have. I've sure enjoyed learning more about our different athletics. And thank you, Brad, for being our guest today.
Yes, thank you for coming.
And
Thanks for having me.
we will catch y'all next time on Learning Leading Now.